we back? Is this on? Looks like it. I don't know what just happened. If it was my internet or what the hell. But looks like we're back. I was transitioning from gaming to sculpting. Okay. I was saying something changed in Sculptris at some point. I don't know if I messed up the settings somehow, but this sphere wasn't two-sided, and I don't like it that now it is. I don't know if I changed something, if I installed a different version or something. There aren't that many options. I honestly don't know what changed. But at some point it changed. Anyway, I really don't know what to do in terms of what new character could I make. The character that I should have done next, naturally, is the other sort of lead, quote unquote. No, I guess only Ergol is the lead, but Astrid is sort of very important. But I still don't know what to do with her. I should really redesign her. Yes, stream elements. I'm live. I have been live for a while, but then I went not live for a while. Thanks for noticing. I don't necessarily know what to do. And I haven't for a while, because I need to make more characters and I'm kind of stuck. It was great doing Ergol finally and designing it while I sculpted him, sort of finding the definitive Ergol in the sculpting process. Well, by definitive is symmetry on. Definitive is kind of a big word here because again I might make some changes. Here I'm going to move over to ZBrush in a while, but I like I'm just out of the old habit. I like blocking the basic shapes in ZBrush first, and then move over to in Sculptris first, and then move over to ZBrush. I'm sort of improvising here. I don't have any references. I have both a lot of references and no specific references. Whoops, my capture card moved. Is this still working? My screen turned off for a while. I have a little bit of an idea of what I want to do with this character, but at the same time I have no specific design that I'm following, no specific reference. Again, here I'm just sort of blocking the basic shapes. How do I move this? I've kind of forgotten what the hotkeys are for this. For once I've finally gotten more used to ZBrush. I don't use Sculptris all that much anymore. Again, I'm just out of the old habit. I'm using it now. This is a tortoise kind of character. I'm blocking the basic shapes to see the size, the proportions, the whatever, then I'm going to export it over to ZBrush to really refine it and really give it its real shape and the actual details. He's supposed to be a giant tortoise. The one, again, I have no reference for this, but the one sort of inspiration that I have is the Ray Harryhausen turtle from what the hell was it? From 1 million years BC. But that's a sea turtle. It has like a very flat shell and it has sort of flippers instead of the legs of the land tortoise. So it's like not a real reference, but a kind of basic inspiration. Again, here I'm just trying to block the basic shapes. I've had tortoises before, I kinda know what I want it to look like. Of course, it's a giant tortoise anyway, so any sort of reference would be like a Galapagos tortoise. I want to pay attention to Twitch, but I also have to try to open other windows I do want to have. Again, not necessarily in full ES reference, but I want to check out both that Galapagos tortoise and the Harryhausen turtle from 1 million years BC. What did I just say? I said it and I already forgot. Should the hind legs face back? More like this? That's not the way it works, is it? I don't know how the hell I'm gonna do this or how I'm going to animate it. But me being me, of course I had to have a giant tortoise. I absolutely don't know how to do this. I should probably pay more attention to the actual tortoise anatomy. Which for some reason is not really helping me. Yeah, these legs are look like they're on backwards. That's not how legs work. They have like a little knee there because of course they do. They are still legs. Maybe I should rotate this outwards a bit more. I'm gonna make obviously the shell properly. It should probably go like up here over the neck and kind of be open here. But I'm just trying to block the basic shapes. I don't want to make it too round, I think. It's kind of weird to have to convey the concept of it being giant, so I feel like I have to inflate some parts. I cannot make it look I mean, it's something that I have to think of in the design to convey the idea of size. it's not just an enlarged thingy. It's not like a small one but large. It's you have to think of the size while you're working on it and convey size. I have no idea. I feel like I've taken already too much of a break from sculpting and I need to make more characters, but if it was for me, I feel like I could use a break, a longer break. But it's been a week since I did Ergol. I haven't really done anything else. And I have so much to do for this show. Quote unquote show. It's not a show. It's barely one animated thing. Maybe the head should be smaller. That's another way to sort of convey size. The illusion of size, the idea of size, the notion of size. Is it too flat on the bottom? I guess the subdivision is forcing it to be sort of weird. I don't freaking know. I don't know why I'm so tired lately. This is very regular, but I'm just trying out this thing. That looks like shit. They have like a little tail. Here I'd like to make this kind of stick out. This is a kind of dumb way to do it. I don't know if I should do the two halves separate parts. This is very dumb how I've done this sort of edge. This shouldn't go up that high, it should go lower. I should soften this. Too much. I'm not going necessarily for realism. After all, it's a fantasy tortoise character thingy. But it should resemble what it's supposed to be, right? Neck should go really should go up here. I don't know if I should connect the legs and the neck necessarily. I don't know if I should do the two halves sort of separately of the shell. Bottom should be more flat. The top should be curvy. I wasn't going to do this here on Sculptress. I was going to move on over to ZBrush sooner and do all of this over there, but I feel like I can do some of that here. I used to use ZBrush so much more. Well, I started with just ZBrush anyway, so of course. And back in the day when I used I keep saying ZBrush when I mean Sculptris. I used to use Sculptris a lot more. I started with Sculptris solo because it was free back in the day. Now I think they've integrated it into ZBrush, and the free version is ZBrush Core, but Sculptris is no longer a standalone thing, I believe. It's probably downloadable still somewhere, but back then it was sort of like the gateway drug, the entry thing into 3D sculpting, and I used it a lot, and especially back in the day when ZBrush had those stupid freaking widgets that made it really hard to navigate. Just to rotate, resize, or move one of your shapes, you had to go through one of those stupid widgets that were super nonsensical, instead of the more instinctive kind of thing that it has now, that you just see the axis and you can just rotate, move, or resize in whatever direction you want. But prior to that, they had this weird widget that had no symbols. It looked like a freaking hieroglyph, and I hated to have to navigate with my sculptures through that. So I would set up most of the things here in Sculptris, and only then, in the very last minute, export to ZBrush to only use some of the features there. Like some remeshing or some stuff that some refining stuff that I couldn't do here. And then on to rendering. My first 3D sculptures I actually did here. I exported piece by piece, because if you export as a single thing, there's no way to separate it in Keyshot, or at least there wasn't back then. So I had to separate again. I had to export part by part separately and import them all separately into Keyshot. But even before Keyshot, I think I've discovered Keyshot like by accident, and it's weird that it later became some sort of a standard. But at the time, it was kind of obscure. It was kind of a thing that wasn't that well known. ZBrush was already a standard, but Keyshot, I feel like, was only taking off when I discovered it. But really, before even rendering in Keyshot, all I knew from back in the day of my old 3D modeling, sort of traditional, quote-unquote traditional 3D modeling, was from freaking Caligari True Space. And I did my first renders in True Space, because that's all I had and that's all I knew. And my Maleficent, that was sort of relatively successful in DeviantArt and everything, I did directly from Sculptris to Caligari True Space, and from then, well, some finishing in Photoshop, but that's it. It was like very primitive with the stuff that I had. I think even I tried a lot of my first Mortal Kombat characters that I did for the Game Art HQ sort of Mortal Kombat tribute, I did also directly like that. I did my Mortal Kombat 2 Shang Tsung, my Onaga. I did just like that, straight from here to Caligari True Space. And that's it. It was something really primitive, really 90s. It was like 11 years ago. It was 2012. But I was still working with this 90s thing that was Caligari True Space. Again, because it's all I had and it's all I knew. And I wanted something better and more realistic and whatnot, so I ended up looking for what was there out there, and I found Keyshot. But again, in the beginning, I had to make do with almost nothing, a literal 90s software. Of course, I knew that when I had to have like a wise sage character of the forest. There's probably not even tortoises in the forest, but me being me, I knew that I wanted and needed a tortoise kind of character. I don't know what's happening. Well, at least it's a really peaceful Saturday. I have a couple hours ahead. I don't know if I should go to ZBrush already. Is it loading? I don't know why I'm so tired lately. Last night it wasn't even 9 PM and I just wanted to go to bed. I was like, whose blessing do I have to ask? To go to bed at 9:30 or 9. And of course I'm free to go. Who the hell's gonna tell me otherwise? But it felt like too much, too early. I don't want to fall in that cycle of never leaving bed again. Been there before. Maybe I can still go back and forth from and back from Sculptris anyway. I don't know why I was so reluctant to come here. Split two similar parts, okay. Yes. Let's freaking remesh this. Let's freaking polish by features. Did that round it up too much? Again, I don't know if I should split the two halves. I probably should. I don't even remember what name I settled on for this guy. I changed the name so much. I had an elk character that I was going to call Astaroth, but I think Astaroth is a better name for the wizard. So I should probably call the wizard that. I don't know if I should duplicate this and already kind of subtract the part from the top, so I can do the lower half this way. Wait, I made that too. I don't know if I should cut this too close, but it's fun really having few limitations. Well, it's still a tortoise that has to look like a tortoise, but really to come here and try to find the character design while doing it, having no reference, having no restrictions, at least in the immediate present. With Ergol, I just did whatever I had sort of envisioned like he should look like, and I try to find it as a combination of my style, my needs, and my limitations, as I always do, I suppose, with this kind of thing. How do I empty this without making a mess? No. Okay, the other way. Is that kind of correct? I don't know why I had the instinct of making just one shape. Well, again, I was sort of trying to establish the basic shapes. I was just trying to block out what it could or should look like. It's just the 3D equivalent of sketching. I don't know exactly how I'm going to do the plaques on top. No. Oh, that's really... You can lower it. This is what I was talking about. Here you have, with this you move, with this you resize, and with this you rotate. The way it used to be was so freaking ridiculous. I think it's still somewhere as a tool. They have kept that widget. They didn't get rid of it completely. I think it's the transpose sort of thing. I don't know if it's like a brush on it in its own right. The transpose and transpose smart. This is how you used to. Where even is it? Well, it's changed back to this. It used to be like a weird kind of vector thing with a lot of icons on it, and you had to click on one and then drag your mouse or something in one direction or the other, and it never did what you wanted. It would sometimes even flip your model inside out. It would do anything but what you wanted it to do. I don't know what the point was of that. They took way too long to get rid of that friggin' crap and give you proper coordinate based this freaking thing. That's the exact same thing Keyshot has. And even Blender doesn't have that. Navigating in Blender is also a bit of a pain, at least it was years ago when I tried it and I didn't like it. And I thought, yeah, I'm never gonna... This is gonna be a pain. I'm never gonna get into this. Just navigating the space is a pain. And then the next time that I tried to install that thing again, Blender again, it didn't work. It simply did not work on my laptop. And anyway, my laptop is very limited. This I'm doing on a PC that's more sort of specialized for the 3D sculpting, for the HD video editing, and for all of that. My laptop is not very powerful, and I'd be forced to have Blender in my laptop anyway, because it has an online installer, and I think it has to be like online all the time or something. And this PC is completely offline. It doesn't even have a modem. So probably couldn't even run it. Well, again, I couldn't even run it in my laptop the last time. I don't know why. I don't know what happened. But again, I didn't care much, because I don't care much for Blender to begin with. It'd be very useful. I know people make wonderful things with Blender. I'm kind of jealous of that in a healthy way. But no, I don't think Blender's for me. Which is really sad, absolutely, because it's really good, it's really impressive, it's really versatile, it's really everything. It does everything, and they keep adding functionalities, and they keep making it a behemoth of a software that's probably harder to tackle if you have never tried it. So it's only getting harder for me. And it was already kind of unwelcoming when I tried it, and it's even worse now. fucking shit. Ay, ay, ay. Just great, just fucking great, just great, great, great. Exactly what I needed, this fucking shit crashing.
Bruh.
Fuck you, ZBrush. Can I really recover what I was doing? Because I didn't save necessarily. You're gonna crash again, right? Fuck you. Fuck you very much. What did I have? Did I even save anything? Can I recover anything from the quick saves here? It's gonna crash again. Oh, this is yesterday's. And of course, fuck you. I hate this shit so much.
Bruh. Bruh. Bruh.
I hate you so. Yeah, recovered are in the quick file. It crashed again? It just crashed from what? You fucking asshole. This recovered are corrupted anyway, so it crashes again and it's gonna force me to go back to my... Why am I even trying? I know that it's this recovered shit. Yes, sorry, on a recoverable error. And it's a loop of shit. Oh yeah, yeah, fucking. Hate it when it happens. Shut up, yeah, as if you are going to do anything for me. Oh, I like what I had done here, but of course it's all lost. Of course it's all unrecoverable, even the quick save files. Is the intensity low? What the fuck is happening? See, now I'm doing it like shit. And that looks fucking gross. I had done it a lot better before. Should I pull this forward? Oh boy, this is so disheartening when shit happens. It's not even that I lost a lot of progress or anything unrecoverable, but goddamn, you're working fine, you're struggling to with your own demons, so it being so hard to start a new character and everything, and bam, it fucking crashes again and again, and the save file is corrupted, so it's unrecoverable, and the other thing is an endless loop of errors and an endless loop of crashes until you finally accept that you just have to start over. Not start over, but I mean go back to the saved file that didn't have the last changes you had made. But at least this is the last one that works. The last one that won't make the thing crash endlessly. Why is this so thin here? Oh. Lower the intensity and pinch. Pinch. Dr. Manville. No, that's something else. Can I polish a little bit? Or a lot, anyway. No. This should be more curvy. And fall lower. Why is it still sort of pointy? That's falling too low. It should have a little tail here anyway, right? Should I go back and revert everything that I did? Or maybe not everything, but at least this here. It feels weird when it's kind of... It needs to be rounded. No, here. Why does this look so straight in here? I'm spending too long trying to curve this. Spending too long. I don't know what I said. Spending too much. Well, maybe I could just make this wider, like this. Go back. Can I just look at the shell? Oh. Okay, here we need the space for the leg. Need more room. Can I... save before there's another catastrophe, you know, but not just that. Oh. That's the problem with this. That you're trying to mask one side and it masks the whole thing. Well, it's still kind of low resolution. Low poly. Well, not low poly exactly, but well, we're still in this early stages of this. So we bring down the fucking thing. Let's not make it bleed through the other side, but at least make it thinner all over wherever possible. Certainly back here. Let's relax this whole area. I should have done this in a more effective way than this, but well, it is what it is. And it's not the end of the world, I guess. Let's polish this a little bit. I'm not clear right now on how the tail should. Where does it come out of exactly? Yeah, no, I don't want to soften that. Have I ZBrushed this already? It's a bit higher. Press, no, let's polish again. Maybe this should be thinner and more curvy as well. It looks kind of unfinished when it's weirdly thick. Well, it looks like many things, but an unfinished is one of them. So weird that I'm thinking about personal stuff and I'm like afraid I'm gonna start talking about them out loud. I don't know how people do this. Nothing too bad or anything, but nothing that I should be talking about on stream. Certainly nothing to do with what I'm doing. Again, I don't know if I should leave room for the little tail, or if it should have a little tail at all. Are we even going to see the backside? Possibly, but not entirely sure. I do not freaking know. This is kind of weird. I should remesh. How do I... there. I should remesh these other parts even when they are only sort of placeholders. But freaking ZBrush crushed exactly because I switched to one of these parts. And their geometry is not great. Lower than that. There's also this, I think. These are just some placeholder shapes that I put up to just block out the main shapes. It's like the 3D equivalent of a sketch. I probably should keep this shape in here as the body, because I was going to have sort of disconnected, this could be the tail. I was going to have like disconnected just the limbs and the neck, but it should have a body inside, especially now that I've made the shell actually hollow. This is very strange. Again, I don't know if I should try to there's so many characters I have to do that I should better get to work with some, and all I could think of today was this guy. Because again, the other character, the fairy, the former fairy, now sort of sorceress type of character, I have to redesign, and I really don't know what to do with her. I don't know if she should be human-like, if she should be some sort of creature herself. Because I don't want to have a sort of a Beauty and the Beast situation between her and Ergol. Because he's like a weird boy. So maybe she should be a little bit weird herself, I thought to myself. No, I'm not sure. I don't want to make her like too weird. And at the same time, I did think of making her almost a kind of creature herself. Either give her like an animal face, almost like an Egyptian god with some kind of animal face, an animal head, and anthropomorphic in the rest. This should be thinner here, I think. It should also leave more room for the legs here. I think I'm slowly, very slowly approaching the shape that I need / want. This little tail, I absolutely don't know what to do with it. I don't know how to do this shell around it. It should be a small thing, but it should be there, I feel like. Very slowly approaching the shape that I want and the shape that I need. Sometimes I'm afraid I'm gonna start singing or something. I don't know how streamers do it. Well, I guess some of them do sing, but I'm thinking random shit that I'm afraid I'll say out loud. I'm thinking of singing. Or I'm afraid I might end up singing out loud. Is perspective on? I feel like this bottom should be more flat, but not completely. Let's save before it crashes again, the motherfucker. My knees are killing me. I said this before, I said it especially yesterday. In this freaking desk I have no room to stretch my legs, so I have to be perched up in here for the duration of the stream, and my knees are what hurts the most for some reason. How do I bunch this up a little bit without deforming the surface here? I should look up what an actual shell looks like, because I'm not doing a great job with this. I shouldn't do it's exactly like the meme. A tortoise drawn from memory. It looks like shit. Like no tortoise ever looked like. And this is exactly that. It's not from memory, I'm looking at Galapagos photos and everything, but it's still so not what a real thing should look like. But yeah, it's the literal drawn from memory meme. Again, I don't have a specific design, I'm just trying to find it as I go along, because I'm not a character designer, I cannot really draw, so I don't have my own drawing of the design or anything. I'm sort of finding it in 3D as I go along. But the little reference that I have is actual proper real tortoise, and the Ray Harryhausen turtle from I already forgot, 1 million years BC, which is a sea turtle, but I want to take a little something from that. That's a fantasy turtle done right. Well, this shouldn't be so empty either. The frigging little tail has been such a problem throughout the whole thing, because I don't know where to place it. Where does it come out of the shell exactly? It's like the meme of the weird medieval horse and the weird medieval cat. I go, of course I know what a cat looks like, and then goes and draws a fucking abomination with a little kind of human face. That's exactly how this is going to end. Of course I know what a tortoise looks like. I have one, and I'm not even using it as a reference. What am I supposed to... Am I still streaming? Because it went down for a while. Yeah. It went down when I switched from the game to this. Everything that could crash today has crashed. I don't know if I should modify the legs or the shell or the what the fuck. Please, thank you. Let's reshape this. They do have like a little knee here. Of course it's a leg, but I mean, I don't want to make like a straight frigging thing the way you draw it as a child. I still draw as a child, so it's weird not to sculpt as you draw things when you're a child. Where's the crease? Here. I always misplace that fucking brush. I'll make a crease here, like behind the actual knee. I want to make this front legs really posed with really sort of attitude to call it something. I feel like they have a lot of character in their stance, tortoises, and there's something that the front legs do. They give them that sense of I don't even know what I was saying. Should I bring this down a little bit because of the tail, because of the thing? And to avoid straight borders, edges, thing. I'm not affiliate even, but I don't know if precisely is Twitch playing ads in my streams with no revenue for me, obviously, but for themselves, because YouTube does that. I mean, videos that you're not monetizing, channels that are not monetized, YouTube will still play ads on. Does Twitch do that? I have no idea. I am maybe appropriately making so little progress so slowly with this guy. It is intimidating coming from nowhere to do a character with no reference, with no anything. Sometimes I wonder if I should, like, stream in Spanish. I mean, I've never really done it. I've always used the internet to, not to gaze my own navel, but to reach for people and places and things that I couldn't reach otherwise. Hence the freaking English. Reaching an international community, reaching whatever that I have no access otherwise, that I couldn't. So I'd never made any kind of content in my own language, ever, anywhere. Because again, I got into the community, the internet to connect with communities with very specific interests. They were international communities. There was a small... There were small communities from here, but they weren't as friendly. They were really small, they were really... cut off from everything. So I thought this is not for me. Give me the big, broad, wide, worldwide community. And I never looked back. It was never quite in my spirit to make any kind of content or anything for the very local, very limited thing that I had going on here. I felt like, well, if I wanted to do that, I will just go to my fucking neighbor and ring their doorbell, what the fuck am I trying to say? And I already don't do that. I don't even get along much with my neighbors. I have very little contact with my family. The internet let me reach everything that I couldn't in any other way, and it was almost always through international communities and something more global, you know. But here now, being what it is, maybe I could do some streams in my own language, targeting my own people, quote unquote. Well, I don't know what that would mean. I don't necessarily feel identified with even my country. I don't even mention it anywhere, and I'm not gonna. My nationality is not, it's just, I don't know, a thing that I have no control over, that I'm not necessarily proud or ashamed of, a thing that gives people weird ideas when I tell them, so I have opted out of telling them. People have the weirdest prejudices, even when they think they don't. They might realize they do when you give them the chance. I'm rambling like there's no tomorrow because I don't know what the fuck to do with this, I don't know what the fuck to say. I'm just wondering if I'd get some views if I actually targeted my country, my language, my whatever. But in my experience that was always kind of negative, so I don't. Anyway, it's not like I'm doing this for views exactly. I don't expect to get partnered or anything. I don't expect I'll ever be able to make any kind of profit out of this. I probably wouldn't even be able to collect, this country being what it is and my economic condition being what it is. Why am I struggling with little parts and little thingies? Should I go back to just a shell view so I can adjust these things? Have I made this recede too far and not enough in here? Where's the focal shift? So Let's just have a shell view. It's so weird that I've never done a turtle character. That's not true. I did Michelangelo in 2015 and it was a completely different approach. It was a anthropomorphic tortoise with no turtle. Yeah. It's kind of in the song Ninja Turtles. It's weird that I've never done a turtle sculpture. Well, I've never done animals for the sake of animals. I've done characters always. But, well, the more reason for me to do a tortoise for Ergol. It's a very me animal to make. I feel like I'm not making any progress. I should start worrying about how am I going to do the blacks in the shell. Even with it's damn early for that, but I mean I should worry at some point about how the hell am I gonna do that. Or at least sort of start sampling sort of testing how I could do it. This white surface is not helping me to see, especially because this is like upside down, or well, this is the bottom. I changed to this white material because the red wax can be very useful, but it causes a lot of garbage in the video compression for the VOD and for the stream, and also well, it wasn't really helping me to see the actual volumes and the shapes with the shadows here. I don't know what I'm doing. I should, well, it's not completely thin the proper way that it should be. I don't know if I should worry about that too much. You generally don't worry, or I generally don't worry about shapes that overlap. You know, here there's gonna be the actual neck and the actual meat. So I don't care about this being thick, but maybe I could push it a bit out of a way to just make it thinner. Not necessarily thin as the shell should be, but to get it out of the way. Again, well, I don't know if that accomplished anything. I should soften this a little bit. Relax this tension here. Maybe I should use topographical here to move this without affecting the immediate nearby areas, which is what topographical does. Well, I'm worrying too much about things that won't even show. Did I soften the edge too much? Because I can, and I should sort of give it a bit of a trim here. It shouldn't be so completely soft. But that's probably a problem for future me. I don't know if I'm gonna solve that now. I wish the pinch brush was better. I have to lower the intensity a lot because it pinches thing in a weird way. Well, that kind of created the crease that I needed, but it also deformed everything else, and that's why I don't love this brush the way it is. I'm still working on a relatively low poly count for this. There's no need to make it much higher right now when I'm still not going to add a lot of detail. I'm still kind of struggling with what the basic shapes should be like. I don't know if I should try, at least for the sake of trying, how to do the sort of plaques in the shell. I don't know what I'm necessarily going for. Maybe I could do something simple like just stamp a pattern on it and call it a day. Like well, not that, that's really stupid, but something maybe really do divide it into the correct kind of shape for the plaques, but then give it like a generic sort of texture. that's stupid. I don't freaking know. If I were to do... Where do you even start? It should have like some kind of... Let's do this just as a test. Some kind of hexagon on top. How am I even doing this? Lower than that. Polish by features. Something like that. Would something like this make sense? Maybe? And then texturing it. Like it's basically the same shape. But then this, and where's the crumple brush? Just texturing it like this around. Would that make any sense? It's a bit too lumpy there, but and like that, and repeat it. What did Harryhausen did? Yeah, sort of flatter, single scale shale. I don't know, I don't hate it, I'm not that convinced. But it's a test anyway. But maybe that's like a way to do it. Let's make another one right next to it. Well, yeah, let's save just in case before it fucking crashes again. Should be next to it, but not too close. How do I fill this space? What? There are some irregular scales with some kind of like more like pentagons. No. Is that too big? Because I should have just a smaller one here, or... Yeah, that's probably too big. Because I should have like a smaller one here, and then the sort of trim. Okay, let's try that again. Extract, accept. Soften again these edges a little bit. Dynamesh, a bit lower. Polish by features. Let's lower it a little bit into the thing. Let's... Oh, I should have paid more attention to the exact proportion of the changes that I did before. Well, now I can try to copy this one in a way, but I think no two of them are gonna look alike. Oh, right, I did make this one sort of, the top one sort of thicker. This face is so stupid. Anyway. And crumple. No? What happened? Crumple, damn it. Does it still look too much like a geometric shape that's not the correct one? It doesn't look great, but if I cover that, if I cover it in that exact kind of shape, it might look better. Will it? I don't freaking know. What time is it? I don't think that's gonna work, especially here, this scale that has to connect with that. It's not gonna look good. Why the crumpling doesn't work as intended here? This is kind of a terrible idea, but well. I don't freaking know how else to make it work. Did that change at all? I wanted to make this a bit more curvy here. Oh, my knees. My frigging knees. How do I do the face? The face is kind of what I wanted to take from the Harryhausen one. But at the same time it has to look more friendly. That was like a big movie monster. This is not what the legs should look like. It's not terrible either. It should be, instead of this rounded stubs, it should be sort of more square. This is literally the meme. Of course I know what a tortoise look like. I should have stayed in bed. I wish I could do this from bed. Well, I could maybe stream something from my laptop from bed, but sculpting has to be done from here, from the PC. Yeah, good idea. Save. Quick save. A file that's going to end up being corrupted anyway, and I'm not going to be able to use if I need it to recover from a crash. Why is focal shift so shifted? I've done dinosaurs before, now that I think about it. I did an Ankylosaurus. How the fuck did I do the shell? I don't even remember. Didn't I do that this year? What year was that? For my freaking daily challenge I did it in a sitting. Now I'm struggling with a fucking tortoise. If anybody saw me doing this, they're gonna think I cheat or do something weird for my daily challenge, 'cause I'm making like no progress here, and then I spent the entirety of April sculpting and I make a different character every day. And it's like, how? Ergol took me 8 days in here, when it should be the kind of character that I can do in a sitting. Which way is this leg going? Should be more like that. I'm kind of approaching it like a dinosaur now that I think about it. I should look at my fucking Ankylosaurus. How the fuck did I do that? How did I do the back? Ah, okay. Yeah, it doesn't necessarily have plaques. It has some. Yeah, it has some divisions, but I did it all in the one same part. It's all one. Right. Yeah, it's all one part. I didn't even subdivide the plaques from the rest of the body or the sort of beak here. Only the freaking spikes are separate, and the sort of thing in the tail and the eyeball, and that's all. I made it very simple. After all, I guess I did it for my daily challenge. Very weird that I didn't make this sort of armor separately. It's still just all one part of the body. Yeah, this is the kind of leg that I'm going for with the tortoise as well. But I like how the front legs of the tortoise are like kind of like big forearms pushed forward, like kind of like sort of backwards position with the elbows out. That's what I want to do with my tortoise, not this kind of front leg. Oh, the nails are separate too. What's the belly like? The most meh thing in the world. How about a shinier texture? Again, I did this in a few hours and I cannot make a fucking tortoise in a sitting here. Where was I here? I've made like 0 progress with this. You know what I mean with the front legs of a tortoise? Like the elbow is like up here and this is all forearm, and it's like forward in a weird way, like there. Especially the males. I feel like the females are a bit different. I need to look at some reference. I haven't even thought of him retracting his head into the thing, but I don't think I would make him do that. It's very much of a three-dimensional thing, and I'm animating him into the... How do the front legs happen? How do I freaking work? What's the time? Okay, I have half an hour to go. I guess I'm gonna have to keep working on this tomorrow. I'm not super inspired today. I feel like it's thinner here and it's like a thick sort of forearm facing forward. Oh God, I'm so sleepy. I did sort of sleep last night. I feel like for a while I haven't been sleeping enough. or well at all. But lately I feel like I have. Certainly last night I thought I slept relatively well. I'm so glad I'm not like on webcam or something, because I'd be yawning all the time. I don't know what to do about the webcam, by the way. I've been thinking about it, trying to use either the laptop's camera or trying to plug my other cameras to use as a webcam, as a face cam, but I don't know if that would add anything. I look like shit, and I'm the type of person that looks like shit in photographs, even worse. The dark circles under my eyes look even darker on camera. What am I gonna do? Wear makeup? Oh God, I'm so sleepy. Should I bring this back forward? Should I bring it forward again, I mean? Or if I move the whole thing? Or if I lengthen it a bit, and then here. Cause back here I feel like I should still bring it forward a lot more for the legs. And here in the front, it's kind of homage to my mom too. She's kind of like the turtle lady. She's the one more fascinated by anyone than anyone by turtles. It's still a lot of room here. I like this sticking out to the front, but should this curve have been smaller? Saturday afternoons I try to watch some movie. I don't even know what I might watch today. I don't have any specific plans. Of course I have a lot of things in my to-watch list, but I don't necessarily feel in the mood for anything specific. if I made this... No, that's too much, but... I don't want it to look like he's wearing a tank top. Or something. This is looking very weird. Let's go back to shell view. What is this? That happens when the masking tool accidentally masks something that you cannot really see on the other side of the thing. That's what happened. Where's the... here? I'm going to stand up a little bit to stretch my legs and to stretch my knees. They hurt so much. I don't know if it's the chair. I think it is just the fact that I cannot stretch my legs here because of a stupid desk. I should remove it. Has like a shelf in there that I should remove it and just put my legs in there to have more room. I should change this desk. It's one of those... It's not necessarily an IKEA. I wish it was IKEA. But it's that kind of put it together yourself kind of thing that I didn't put together myself. Luckily they did it for me, but it's this kind of modular thing that from a kind of well-known furniture store, and they make their own crap, but it's all very basic. It's all very... So that's why I think it's sort of the IKEA equivalent. We don't even have IKEA here. This should be thicker here. It looks silly being too thin. But it's kind of the way it is. Again, it's like a weird little elbow up there and weird little forearms forward. I should have better references for this. Again, I'm not going for realism as a fantasy, wise sage of a tortoise character, but it's still a freaking tortoise. It should make sense from a somewhat anatomical point of view. this is what was lacking. This needed to be thicker here to match the sort of I feel like that's a bit more like it. Maybe here again, this little joint here that should be more. Not even looking at this stream anymore. Well, lucky nothing is happening, but I mean, I was that distracted for a while. I feel like this should be more covered. Again, it gives me the idea of him wearing a sort of a tank top. I have turtles, so you can see this. They have like a fat thing here, a fat sort of chest going out of the shell. Well, it's taken me long enough, but I feel like I'm finally approaching the shapes that I should be working with. Usually it doesn't take the entire stream for me just to block out the correct shapes. That should be just the beginning, and the rest should be more about actually doing what has to be done. But well, this guy has taken as long as it wanted to take. It's not really easy, it's not really what I'm used to doing. And then again, I had to check out my own Ankylosaurus to see how I did something similar before, and I don't even know, because it wasn't really similar. I simplified it a lot. Here I want to really make individual shell plaques here. Flakes. What the fuck is the word I'm looking for? I don't know what I'm gonna do with the scales here. This should be really scaly. This sort of forearms, I keep calling them forearms, should be really scaly. I don't know what to do with this neck, but the face, I think again I should take perhaps to
Bruh.
what the hell am I trying to say? To the kind of Harryhausen influence that I wanted for the face, but again, that's kind of a monster. I want to do more of a friendly character, a wise freaking tortoise. I thought I was going to be able to do a greater progress today, but well, it's been a thing. Here I'd like to try a little something. Probably do 2 parts. Yes. I don't even know why I came back to Sculptress for this, but well. Again, for old time's sake. Again, this is just sort of blocking out the shapes. No. Here maybe I should do the same and carve the shape of the sort of the roof of the mouth, of the upper jaw. Or I'm going to find myself in a situation of having to do it later and it's going to be a pain. It's not a biting, it's not a snapping turtle, but it shouldn't be such a pointy shape of a sharp sort of beak, but still my sort of instinct is to make it a little bit pointy, a little bit sharp. I wish I remembered what name I ended up giving it in the screenplay. I honestly don't remember, because it was one of the characters that went through a lot of iterations and a lot of different names, and I was never happy with any. At least visually it was always going to be a tortoise. That never changed, even in the earliest version of the screenplay, where Ergol was still a goblin and Astrid was a fairy. This guy was always a tortoise. Yeah, and a lot of the time I don't know what I'm doing, I'm just trying out shapes and shit to see what sticks. What's the pinch? Sometimes things don't work and I start over, sometimes they are like a good enough base. And sometimes you just nail something from the beginning and you don't need to redo it 10,000 times. Sometimes some things are harder to nail, sometimes others just sort of fall into place in a wonderful way. That's how I feel most of the time when I get something right. I feel like, oh. I don't feel like, I don't say, oh, I did that right. I say like that. I say something along the lines of, that really fell into place. You're never too cautious saving when things can crash and you can lose the little progress you've made. So far it reminds me of a character from a comic book. A comic book from here that had some international success, but I don't think anyone knows. Well, now it's being turned into a Netflix series. And Earth gets invaded, and one of the alien sort of monsters are this big sort of dinosaurs with a head very much like this, and a sort of beak. This is not at all what the face of a turtle look like, of a tortoise should look like. This is quite the jawline for a tortoise. I should soften it probably. Well, maybe I can do that after I move over to back to ZBrush. Again, this is a little bit of a Harryhausen influence that I wanted for this character. Maybe I shouldn't do this here. I should do it after we move back. That's very weird. It looks like a blobfish. Do I have a front view of the Harryhausen Archelon? Oh, it does look a little bit silly. It does look a bit like a parrot beak more than a turtle. Can I make... how do I make the hole for the... how do I make the eye hole? The eye socket. The eye hole. Oh, I could do... yeah. I know what I could do. I can make a bit of an indentation here, but I don't necessarily have to do the entire socket. Now this, with a bit of more of a nose, with a bit more of a snouty kind of shape, is more tortoise-like. I feel like I should place the eye here, regardless of what it truly ends up looking. Can I pull it a bit that way and a bit this way? Does that look too mean? No, it looks dumb. Again, it has to be a friendly, wise character. I don't want it to look like a monster, and I'm already kind of taking a little bit of reference from the Ray Harryhausen Archelon. I don't want it to look mean. Oops. That way it kinda looks like it's frowning, but again, the idea is for it to have an eyeball there, but also kind of eyelids inside of this sort of socket. You know? More like oh. No. Kind of like that, like this is the actual skin inside of the, or not inside, but over the eye socket in the skull. These things look so weird until they don't, but most of the time they remain weird. again, it's kind of... The Archelon, the Harryhouse in Archelon, well, it's not this square, it's more round. It has like a very parrot-like beak, but I feel like this is more tortoise. And if it had the nostrils here, it's better done, but here. I feel like it'd be kind of what I'm looking for. It's kind of a snake head, but it's not unlike it when you look at it. Again, I've had tortoises. Most of my life. This is like a very weird fat chin chick that I've done here. It should be a bit more rounded, maybe, and then the neck connect to the back here, and I'd still keep it as a separate piece for the sake of posing it. To rig it in whatever, to render it in whatever position I need to render it for rigging it. Again, think of it as something more like this, where that's the eye, and that's... The good thing is that I don't have to do teeth for this guy. Okay. It's very strange and very... not sure what it is, but I don't hate it. I see this guy happening. Maybe that is too pointy over there, the shell like that, but I don't... Look at that. That is exactly what they look like from this angle. He said, trying to convince himself. Split to similar parts. Let's save. Hoping it won't freaking crash. True mesh. Not that low. Three something. I don't hate it. I feel like I've been all over the place for this entire session, and this wasn't telling me much. But here that I see it more put together, I feel like it's sort of happening. I don't know if it's exactly what I envisioned, but it's sort of it. This view, it's kind of silly, and I don't know if the shape of the eyes is a bit too pointy in that direction. But I don't hate it. I do feel it. what was I trying to do? Polish a little bit. Polish my features. Oh, that got rid of the hint of a nose. I like the nose placement even if it's not final, but again, maybe I should make it a little bit softer, a little bit less menacing. I don't know if it looks menacing, but looks like a snake, you might say. But they do look like snakes, especially from certain angles. If you look at them, they are very snake-like. Here I will try to sculpt like proper eyelids and whatever, but the idea here again, I kinda departed from the original sort of Harryhausen inspiration because A is a turtle, not a tortoise. B, it's more of a movie monster. And this has to be a wise, friendly character. Oh, I have a thing to post on social media and I forgot. Well, it's not that late. Oh my god, it is late. I should have ended my stream 10 minutes ago. And I guess I got a little carried away. Okay, so tomorrow at the same time, not the same time, at the usual time. Today I started earlier. I should come for an hour to play some more Tomb Raider, and then, because it's Sunday, I don't have the full 3 hours, 3.5 hours that I always do. So it should be a shorter stream with just gaming. Some more Lara Croft now in the South Pacific Islands. This doesn't look very showable, but I should make a little render to sort of post wherever I post updates about this project. At least to save if I'm not gonna post. Right, it's a giant tortoise. We should look at it from below. This is kind of the angle we're gonna see, or I don't know. What? Anyway, see you tomorrow with more of not really more of this, unless I'm in the mood for sculpting more than for gaming. But tomorrow should be a shorter stream of just 1 hour of gaming. See you then. I should have God, I'm really late. I should end this here. See you tomorrow.